So I'm supposed to be at a meeting right now, and I'm I'm sick, staying home from work. So what better time than to play a little chess and to make another video? Um, so here you can see my rating's about 1486. My opponent's 1412, and he leads with d4, knight f6, knight c3, g6, e4, d6, knight f3. This is standard stuff. He left the c4 square open for his bishop. I castle, he castles, and I play c5, which is pretty standard here in the King's Indian defense for me. My opponent plays d5, closing up the center. You have to excuse my coughing and scratchy voice. Like I said, I'm sick. I have a real bad sore throat. He closes up the center here, which I like to see usually. I'm going to attack this bishop here, and then when a pawn recaptures here, I'm going to attack that pawn. My knight's going to be very good in this situation. Rook to e8. I'm just slowly improving. I plan on playing e6 at some point here, and I'm just making ready for that. Bishop to d2, and here I play a6, preparing b5. And there's nothing he can really do to defend it. He plays queen to c1. I'm realizing he's going to use this idea of bringing the bishop down to h6, and if I take, bringing his queen in and putting pressure on my king. But I ignore him, b5, and he plays back, bishop e2. So I've claimed space on the queen side. This is really, really good for me. I think black is definitely ahead here. I push again, b4, and now his knight has to move. And when his knight jumps back, I win the e4 pawn for free. So you can see, even though he was mounting an attack on my king side on that c1 to h6 diagonal, I was able to win some material in the middle. And then when he accomplishes what he's trying to accomplish, it still isn't that bad for me. Rather than taking and letting his queen come into the square, I'll let him take and I'll recapture with my king, and then his queen doesn't have this square available. So I just play knight f6 back. Now I'm attacking this pawn. Bishop takes, king takes, and he plays bishop back to c4, defending the pawn again. Now here I'm going to mount an attack against this bishop. Starting with knight b to d7, I'm coming into b6, and he defends with the pawn. I bring it in, and queen to b2. Now he's attacking my knight here. Notice it's defended 3 times, queen, pawn, and king. And I'm realizing at this point he's going to bring this knight in and try and attack it that way. But I'm okay with that. I'm up a piece right, or I'm up a pawn right now. I play a5, solidifying here, and I realize that it'd be better for me to attack with my bishop. So watch what I do. When he brings the knight in, I play bishop a6. Now his bishop is pinned to his rook here, and he has to do something about that. He doesn't want to waste this knight defending this square, and I can afford at this point to take time. I have pressure here. He can't move this knight, or else he'll lose at least a pawn here, and I can start attacking on the king side. He plays rook f to e1, breaking that pin, and I go ahead and carry it out. The capture, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then e6. Notice this pawn is still defended by this knight, and I'm baiting him to move the knight here. My pawn here is defended twice, attacked once and twice. It's fine. My knight is attacked once by the queen, defended twice. He's going to hop in knight e4, thinking he can mount an attack here. I'm still defending twice. I'm still doing well. And now this pawn, he left the defense of this pawn. So I go ahead and take that. And now I'm attacking his queen here. So now he has to force the tactic or give up on the tactic. This is very good for me. I'm up 2 pawns. So he goes ahead and takes the trade, trades, takes, and then he takes his pawn. I take back, and I'm still up 2 pawns, remember. And here I'm not sure why my opponent decided to do this, but he decides rook takes, king takes, rook e1 is a good idea. Now he just traded off more material when he's down 2 pawns. This should be an easy win for me, and unfortunately I make some mistakes that allow him counterplay. What I should have done here is just played king to d7. You'll notice he has nothing he can do. He's going to attack this a7 pawn, or h7 pawn, with knight g5. I don't have to be terribly worried about this. I can just attack some pawns on my own. And it's okay to trade down the pawns. And for some reason I felt like I had to try and hang on to these pawns to get the win, and it's not true. I can just simply take some when he takes some. So he would have to defend rook c1. He can't afford to be trading pawns. I play rook to e8. I'll go ahead and give him that 1 pawn. I'll come down here and attack this the c2 pawn twice. There's no way he can hold it. King f1, attacking my rook, and I just take the pawn. And at this point, obviously, if he trades rooks here, then he's still down. He's still down 2 pawns. These queenside passed pawns are gonna be very powerful. I'm gonna queen a pawn here, and there's very little my opponent can do to stop it. But I didn't play king to d7 here. I made a mistake and played knight e5, recognizing that he can't take here, because now my pawn's still defending. It's not like he can just come down with check and win the piece. But after knight e5, it allows knight to g5 check, forking my king and this pawn. Now I move back to king d7, which is the square I should have been on all along. And now he can take knight 8, takes h7, because I'm not out here able to go to a3, because I gave him a few tempos here. So he wins a pawn for free. Now here I did something stupid, and I started thinking, well, maybe I'll come back in and close off his escape of his knight. And I played king back to e6. I just repinned the knight, which is stupid, and it allows him to come down and attack the pinned piece. Now I don't have to lose material here. Rook to h8, and he has to come out here. I just take. Here I just take. He plays knight g5 check. I play king f5, and now pawn takes, king takes, and material's even, except that I'm still a pawn, which he makes up real quickly right here. He takes d6. So now I went from being 2 pawns up to being even in material, and he has a passed pawn, so I have to defend rook d8. I could have played king f6 first and then over. This is okay though. So now you can see what I've done. I've lost 2 pawns in a game that back here was easily won. If he doesn't trade, he either has to defend this pawn. If he comes out this way, pawns are just going. An easy win for black back here, and I missed it by playing king e6. Again, what I could have played here is rook to h8.